Awesome. Kia ora and welcome to today's episode of Becca's podcast on or interviews on shining a light on fabulous kaupapa in our community. And today I'm joined by the wonderful Lee Timutimu. Kia ora, Lee.
Kia ora, Vic.
It's great to have you here. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for joining me for this, our first episode on shining a light on your kaupapa. So first up, why don't you introduce your Social Impact ISP that you are currently working on and what it's called and what your grand vision is for this space?
Yeah, thanks, Vic, and thanks for the invitation to join you in this kōrero. It's really important for us to share stuff about these amazing kaupapa mahi that's happening around the country, and I guess Social Impact ISP is one of those examples. I guess for the moment, until we figure out what our trading name will be, so we don't actually have a kind of a trading name. We're calling this kaupapa and this organization Social Impact ISP. So think of it as a working title. But what I would say about that is don't let the ISP title throw you, because I believe this kaupapa will become an important waka or vehicle in helping to solve some of the big challenges that the digital divide presents to everyday Kiwis in Aotearoa, New Zealand today. So we don't want to box ourselves into just being an internet service provider, although that's definitely where we're starting out. I think the grander vision is, in the not too distant future, is we hope to be able to contribute to solving some of the other challenges and also the barriers that the digital divide presents all Kiwis with today. But I guess in a nutshell, the Social Impact ISP is a community-focused organization that seeks to create meaningful social impact through the provision of affordable, fast fibre internet. So that's kind of my 50-cent spiel there, my 50-cent pitch. Yeah.
And so as you know, I love this kaupapa, I really do. But I'm really interested to know what motivated you to embark on this project, because it's really quite ambitious.
It is an ambitious project, and I guess the journey for me with this kaupapa started about 3 years ago. I had the privilege and pleasure to deliver digital literacy workshops into marae to marae trustees. So doing some really awesome and impactful digital literacy mahi in that marae community. And I guess through that experience, I would often get asked by these marae trustees, when we started talking about the internet service, the fact that the internet that they had or currently have will expire at some point in the near future. So what are they going to do once the internet tap turns off? And so, of course, the conversation will always turn to, oh, okay, so what are we going to do once our internet turns off? And so the question that would often be posed to me within that setting from marae trustees, and this happened multiple times, is, well, why can't we just buy internet from you, Lee? And I'm like, well, I'm not really an internet service provider, whānau. So, but hey, once that happened, and it was asked many times of me, I kind of had to take it on as a sign or a tohu that, oh, well, maybe I should start looking into what it takes to become an internet service provider. And if nothing comes of it, that's all good. But I am kind of a person that likes to look into how we can create solutions to fill a gap where there's a need, right? So that's where it all started for me back then 3 years ago. And so I reached out to a few key people that were working within the digital equities space at the time. And really just started, I guess, arming myself with the knowledge that I needed to kind of figure out how it would work and how I could pull something together that might, help to solve this internet challenge. What I didn't know really at the time, because admittedly I'm quite a late comer to the digital equity space, haven't been working in it as long as yourself, Vic, or others in the within the DECA collective as well, but even those that have been working in the space for some time. So I'm a little bit of a late comer, but what I didn't realize at that time was that affordable access to affordable internet, and I'm talking about quality, fast internet
Mm.
in New Zealand today is an actual problem that we have, and hence that leads into the digital divide conversation, and that's where I really started becoming more involved in that the digital divide, digital equity conversation, and that's where, of course, connected up with Deca, jumped into the affordable internet connectivity constellation, and then I think I just kind of went from there and was able to connect with a whole bunch of amazing people that have already done this work, that are supporting the work, and really just helped me to build my knowledge base so that I could, I guess, just think about what it could be and how I could design something that would help to solve this specific problem. So, yeah.
Love it. It's fantastic. And I know you recently had an interview with Craig from Tuans where you talk about a lot of the mechanics of this. Everyone listening should check that out as well. In your discussion with Craig, you talk about the digital divide and the findings of that affordable connectivity research that you were involved in, and the insights that you and others unearthed via that, which is why this mahi is so important. So let's talk a little about your vision for the Social Impact ISP and how you want to challenge the digital divide and the impacts of data poverty, which is what you're essentially describing here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. It's an amazing vision, but tell us more about how your project's going to contribute to realising this.
Yeah, it is a great question. And I guess I'll start with providing some context about the digital divide. We know that the digital divide presents three main challenges, particularly to low-income households. The first one is access to affordable internet connectivity, of course. Secondly, access to computing equipment. And thirdly, digital literacy skills, or the lack thereof. So I guess as a startup internet provider, this kaupapa anyway, we're obviously hoping to tackle the first challenge around access to affordable internet. And I guess in doing so, we're meeting this challenge, the challenge itself head on, in the hopes that we can support low income households to overcome this particular barrier. So that's straight off the bat, that's what the Social Impact ISP will be hoping to contributing to solve anyways. The term data poverty is often used to describe not only being able to afford sufficient access to broadband or mobile data, but it also means not having access to digital devices. So our mission statement is simple. It is to improve the lives of all New Zealanders affected by the impacts of data poverty. And I guess we'll achieve this by providing, first off anyway, a low-cost, fast internet service to those households that are most in need. So I think that's really speaks to our mission in terms of trying to help to solve the access to affordable internet connectivity straight off the bat. And as I mentioned earlier, I see this kaupapa as being a waka or a vehicle that will help to contribute to solving some of the other challenges that affect us or New Zealanders anyway through this digital divide. So.
Wow, ambitious, but really important. And so many people are surprised to learn that 20% of New Zealanders are on the other side of that digital divide. And as you and I were discussing earlier, that number's probably growing as we speak every day, right? So you've got a range of other goals for this project, including community partnerships and empowering local communities to solve local challenges. Can you talk to me about why this is really important to you?
Yeah, I think one of the things that will make us different from, I guess, other internet service providers, at least straight off the bat anyway, is that we want this to become a community-powered initiative or a community-powered kaupapa. What I mean by that is we want to be able to empower communities with the work that they're already doing within their local neighborhoods through the relationships that we establish and maintain with what we call our community partners. And this speaks to the strength of this community partnership model that you've just asked about. So I strongly believe that the success of the work that we're setting out to do now will rely heavily on the strength of our community partnerships and the community relationships, because we know that, and I've done a lot of community work myself, community engagement, particularly within Māori communities, but we know that it's those community partners that work within their own communities that have those trust relationships. They also have strong networks, and they know where the need is. So that's really going to help us to do the mahi that we need to do to get this affordable, fast internet service into the households that need it. I often refer to the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but sometimes you can't make the horse drink that water. And I feel like this is potentially the situation that we're faced with. It's one thing to offer cheap, fast internet to a whānau or a household, but it's actually another thing to get it into that household. So again, the strength of the relationships that we have with our community partners that are local to those communities will ensure that we are successful in getting this service into the homes that need it in a way that's meaningful, but also through those community relationships, we'll be building our own, I guess, relationships with those communities, which is important too in terms of the ongoing work that we need to do and the sustainability, of course, of this kaupapa.
Yeah, because you highlight a really good point. The government's EDA project, that Equitable Digital Access, where they paid for 25,000 whānau.
Yeah.
We know from the data that not all of those families actually took that up, did they?
That's correct.
And got that internet connection that was being paid for installed in their house. And I love the fact that you're looking at a way to help, move alongside them and help them understand the importance of this, and also ensure that they've got the devices and the skills and the capability to ingest these affordable internet connections.
Right. That's right, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic that you've thought that through and come up with a solution. So there are already lots of wonderful people involved in this Social Impact ISP project in different ways. So why don't you tell us a bit about the structure you've put in place and who's working with you to bring it all together?
Yeah, I guess we're starting out in terms of the structure, the legal entity, I guess. We're starting out as a not-for-profit social enterprise. So it's a registered limited liability company called Social Impact Digital Equity Tāpui Limited. Long name, but that's definitely not going to be the trading as name because it's way too long. But essentially, that's going to provide us with an entity now, so that we can get things up and running, get things started, get the mahi started, and we can get doing what we need to do. But we, of course, will look to transition into becoming a charitable trust in the hopefully not too distant future. And that's really just the signal to anyone that's interested in the work that we're doing, is that we are here simply to create social impact, meaningful social impact, shall I say. It's not a commercial venture. We're not profit focused. We're none of that stuff. We really are just want to exist to be able to help low-income households in need with providing them with this fast, affordable internet, of course. We've got a small but mighty project team that consists of myself, a project administrator, and 2 community navigators. So the community navigators will work closely alongside our community partners. At least that's how we think it will work. It's probably going to need to be tweaked over time once we figure out how things work best. And I guess in terms of advisory, we've pulled together 2 advisory groups, a main advisory group and a technical advisory group. We have 10 amazing people across these 2 advisory groups, who I have no doubt will lend their expertise and skill sets to help our kaupapa become the success that I know it will become. So it's really important to have the guidance of people that have done the mahi before, that have a range of diverse skill sets and experience, and we've certainly got that as a foundation to the work that we're about to do. I do want to mention our current chair, who is Kate Thomas, well-known advocate in the digital equity space. Obviously, also involves closely with with DECA, and I've known Kate for quite some years, and so we're really fortunate to have her counsel and expertise as our chair. ex-Bark Foundation, now working for Thriving Communities Aotearoa.
Mm.
And just someone that inspires me in the work that I do. So I just wanted to give a shout out. And I guess importantly, we've formed a number of strong relationships and partnerships along the way. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm great at building relationships. I've got some pretty good networks, and so it's really just about creating the relationships and partnerships that we know we need to enable us to do the work that we need to do. And I guess the final shout out I want to give is to Deka for all of the ongoing support that you've provided, myself personally, but also this kaupapa with recently, in terms of Pūtea to help us get started. And honestly, without that startup Pūtea, or seed funding, whatever you want to call it, it would have been so much more difficult for me to do the work that I'm doing now, but also to enable us to bring together a really amazing team to help do the mahi, and just to get things started and get cracking on this important work.
Thanks, Lou, and thanks for laying out kind of who's involved. It's really good to understand that structure and that you've got so many great advisors on board, which is wonderful to hear. But if anyone's listening to this short discussion and wondering how they can get involved in this movement for change, or how they follow along, or how they get in touch, what do we need to tell them?
Yeah, sure. So you can the easiest way to get in touch with me is through my link tree. I'll share the link to Vic, and she can share it into the podcast notes. And please just reach out. This is something that I'm obviously incredibly passionate about. If there's any way that you can help us with the work that we need to do, then please do get in touch. We do have a shopping list of needs, which thanks to Vic, I did pull together a few weeks ago, and it's really just a list of things. You can take a look at it. It's publicly accessible. If there's anything there that you think you can attach yourself to, amazing. Please do reach out. But we're always open to not just, and it's not just Pūtea as well. It's resourcing people. It's in-kind support. There's so many ways that you can help out, help this kaupapa out. So yeah, please do reach out, and I'm sure we can figure out how to work together.
Fantastic. And yeah, we'll be sure to share that, how to get in touch with you information. So thanks so much for joining me for this short overview of your kaupapa. It'll be great if I can check back with you next year on how it's progressing, so we can give people an update.
And again, yeah, thanks again for the time to share a bit about our kaupapa. Vic, really appreciate it, and yes, I look forward to catching up next year to give you the update as to where we're at. Kia ora.
Awesome. Ka kite.